Hey there everybody, it's Michael from ScriptBully, and in this edition of Ask ScriptBully, I'm going to be answering a question from Tom in Providence, Rhode Island, who asks, I love Providence by the way, I'm thinking of using flashbacks in my screenplay, but I'm worried they'll look stupid and cliche. Am I being paranoid? Hey Tom, so your question reminds me of a story, and it all started 10 years ago. Just kidding. No, it's a good question. And the answer is you can maybe, sort of, kind of use flashbacks in your screenplay as long as you do them in a cool way. How do you use them in a cool way? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Non-sucky screenwriting flashback technique number one, hide the flashback as long as possible. So one way to write a flashback is to not telegraph that it is a flashback at all. To have the audience assume that the scene they're watching is in the present timeline, and then suddenly they see something, perhaps a character who is dead but is now alive in the scene, or some weird jump in time that lets them know quickly that they are out of linear sequence. It's really jarring to an audience, and that's kind of the point. The underrated film Closer with Natalie Portman does this really with great effect, although having Natalie Portman in your movie pretty much helps anything that you do. The film Amores Perros does this. It's a great film, by the way, if you haven't seen it. The TV show Orange is the New Black uses this technique. Not always to great effect, but they do use it. And of course, Quentin Tarantino did it wonderfully, or Roger Avery, if you believe Roger, who says he wrote the screenplay, in Pulp Fiction. Now, you can screw this up. It can be a little too jarring, but the cool part is, once you use it, the audience really has no idea where you're going with your story, which can be really effective. Non-sucky screenwriting flashback technique number two is go forward instead of backward. So this is probably the hipster, skinny jeans version of the flashback these days. The writers of the TV show Lost practically pay their mortgage with this technique. This is basically where the narrative is propelled forward to an event that is expected to happen or could possibly happen to the characters within the existing time frame. It's very trendy right now in a lot of the spec scripts I read, and when done right, it can be good, but I'm not personally a huge fan. It doesn't mean you can't do it, but it really takes me out of the narrative. I hated it, absolutely hated it when two of my favorite shows of all time, Dexter and Weeds, basically used it in their horrible, abysmal series finales. Now, this will really depend on the genre, though. I think sci-fi, romance, fantasy, I think it's really okay to use this, but a straight drama or a comedy or action, I would stay away. Non-sucky screenwriting flashback technique number three, kill your flashback entirely. So one question to ask yourself is, do I really need this flashback? Is there a way to express the information that I want to get across without actually writing the flashback? Perhaps you could have another character use the backstory as a weapon. Or maybe your main character is simply haunted by an image or an object or a symbol or a place. One of my favorite shows here in the States is Longmire, which is about a hard-scrabble sheriff in Wyoming forced to navigate the dangerous political waters between Greater Wyoming and the Cheyenne people. And if you've never watched the show, Robert Taylor plays Longmire, and he's kind of like a combination of John Wayne and Humphrey Bogart, but with a little bit more upper body strength. So anyway, the moment that this character walks in the room, man, you feel the gravitas. You just know some crazy shit went down with this guy. And the whole first season, they keep alluding to what happened in Denver. He doesn't want to talk about Denver, but people keep bringing it up. Oh man, I don't want to talk about Denver. You can't go back to Denver. Don't make me go back to Denver. And it's like this foreboding thing that really fills. And the whole first season, they're building it up. And you keep wondering what happened. What the hell happened in Denver? And then they did it. They killed all the suspense. They did a flashback. And they showed Denver, and Denver just wasn't the same. So see if you can nix the flashback entirely and instead build your tension off screen. You might just find a more effective technique and a better story and a better Denver in the long run. So if you have a burning screenwriting question just filling up space in your brain, head over to scriptbully.com. There you can ask a question at our Ask ScriptBully section. And while you're there, you can grab your free copy of the Ultimate ScriptBully Movie Idea Grader. Helps you put your movie idea to the test and bulletproof it for maximum story awesomeness. And if you've liked this video, would you please Facebook like it, thumbs up it, favorite it, Instagram it, Snapchat it, Vine it, MySpace, Friendster it, whatever all that stuff is. And until I talk to you again, And of course, be bold, write often, and kick writer's block in the ass.